Hello friends, and welcome to the Hanged Man in the Moon. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. And friends, if you are a returning visitor, you're probably curious why I didn't start out this video with a face-on portion. And I decided not to go that way for this video. I'm doing this kind of roughshod here at home with my small equipment setup that I have here. And so we're just going to go with it this way. Now, before we dive into the video proper, let me tell you what we're going to be doing. Even though I already have the camera pointed down, this is a video that was requested by one of my viewers. And to you, I give a great thank you for asking this question and giving me the opportunity to share a little bit about my personal practice and how I use both Tarot and Oracle together. So, what's the point? The point is, one of you lovely people asked me, how do I use Oracle cards with Tarot cards? Especially now that I've started to add Oracle cards to my TDM readings. So, that's what we're going to be doing. I've got a whole bunch of decks laid out, and a couple of Oracles, a couple of Tarots from different systems, and so that's what we're going to do. So if you're interested, stay tuned, and we'll continue in just a moment. Here we go. Friends, thank you for returning. So, let me tell you a little bit about my Tarot and Oracle journey. I've mentioned this, I think, in previous videos, but those previous videos are probably at least 2 or 3 years old. So, I started learning and practicing and studying Tarot when I was a wee little high school student. Way back in the 1970-somethings, late 1970-somethings, to the early 1980-somethings. And I got really interested in Tarot. But frankly, the study materials that I was able to find out there did not satisfy my desire to really understand how to read the cards. For example, I'm really sorry, but the book by Waite, The Keys to the Tarot, was more frustrating than helpful to me. And I've talked about this before. I'm nothing against the guy, nothing against what he wrote for the time he wrote, but for me, when I was studying and considering the people that I was living among, the information in that book was less than helpful, frankly. And I didn't know anything about Rachel Pollack or Mary Greer or Caitlin Matthews or any of our more well-known tarot scholars at the time. So I was going off the little white book in the Smith-Waite deck, and it really was unsatisfying to me. And so I tried for several years, actually, off and on, and then I put my cards away probably in my mid-20s. And I didn't really pick them back up again until about 2019 or 2019. And as I picked them back up, I was looking at them and thinking, I want to, but I'm not sure. I had a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth from trying before and trying to figure out, so the court cards, yeah, this card is a blonde person with blue eyes kind of information, and yeah, that just didn't sit with me. So then I realized that there were Oracle cards, and I decided I'd start playing with Oracle cards first. So I started playing with Oracle cards. I discovered some Oracle card creators, some Oracle deck creators, and was really happy with them, and started working with them a little bit on my own, doing a little bit of private study, practice. I started taking those out into the world. And my interest in divination and cartomancy started to be reignited. And really, I know the opinion is very split on this creator, but the one that really got me the most interested was Colette Baron-Reid and her various decks, starting with the Wisdom of the Tarot and the Enchanted Maps Tarot, those two together. And then I stumbled on the Mystical Shaman Tarot, and that one really got me drawn in. Yeah, so those three oracle decks really were the ones that cracked me open again to really reigniting my passion and desire to understand and learn cartomancy in all of its various forms. So I started working with tarot and oracle bass-ackwards, frankly. My first practice putting them together was starting with oracle cards. So what I would do for my very earliest spreads was I would select one oracle card, and then I would try to have the tarot help me unpack it, if that makes sense. So let me show you. This is the Seven Energies, the Oracle of the Seven Energies by, like I said, Colette Baron-Reid. And I won't do a really full shuffle. These are just swift little demonstrations that I'm going to be showing you, just so that some of you who might not use oracle and tarot together might get some ideas. For those of you who do use tarot and oracle together, maybe you'll see that this kind of off-the-wall guy has some different ways of using them. I don't know. Or maybe you'll just be bored and you can feel free to move on. But here we go. So the first kind of thing that I did was this. Yeah, I'd shuffle a deck and I'd pull out one oracle card like this. Yeah, Spirit of Gratitude. And so I would ask the tarot what the Spirit of Gratitude has for me, or how it is relevant for me in whatever time period I had my attention set for. And for the tarot right now, I'm going to be using my I'm very sorry, out of print Albano-Waite tarot. So, Spirit of Gratitude. I think we can basically get the idea of that one, right? Card 43, that should be from the 7th center, which is pretty much, to me, the crown chakra. Colette Baron-Reid very clearly states that the energy centers are not the same as the chakras, and I can understand her point of view. But I can also understand my desire to associate those 7 energy centers with the chakras. So, Spirit of Gratitude. Yeah, 7th chakra, the chakra that opens up to the divine, is calling for us to have a sense of gratitude for that which is around us, for the things that we experience. To have gratitude before we have the experiences that we want to have, as a way of aligning ourselves with the vibrational state of that experience that we want to have. So, what does that mean for us? Well, then I'll pull 3 cards. It's 10 of Wands. Isn't this a gorgeous color? I love the color of this deck. Knight of Cups. Page of Cups. So, where and how does the Spirit of Gratitude have significance for me, us, at this moment? Well, at this moment, there is a sense of burden, right? We're in a state of a sense of burden. Now, this is the way I used to read. Now, at the moment, I tend to, when I do a 3-card spread, I tend to look at the center card first, and then I will add this card, and then I will add this card, as far as process of reading. And then I will also look at elemental dignities, but way in the way back, when I first got back into reading with oracle cards and then tarot, I would do a left to right. And yes, some people do past, present, future. Someone would do energy, obstacle, advice. But I was just reading in a line, in a row. So we start off with burden. Yeah, we're feeling the burden. We're feeling a heavy load. We're carrying stuff. We're not horribly far from where we want to go. But right now, we're not there, and it's hard. It feels hard. And our energy and our passion is starting to wane, right? And that moves us right into the Knight of Cups. So this is where we want to go. And perhaps this is, he's holding this cup, this chalice of gratitude there before him, her, them. Yeah? So we can rediscover our path. We can rediscover our romance, the romance of our journey, by lifting up the goblet of gratitude once again. And if we do that, you notice how the knight becomes the page. Yeah? That energy, which had been depleted here, is fully restored with the youth and the I want to say the intuitive, creative, deeply spiritual vitality of a teenager. So we rediscover, we carry forth our cup of gratitude from this feeling of a time of burden, and we rediscover our playful, deep, youthful vitality in the areas of love, but also intuition and spiritual connection and creativity and romance and love and all of that wonderful stuff. So does that make sense? Can you see how these cards can help us unpack this one card of spirit of gratitude? So that's how I was doing it in the beginning. Yeah? So then what did I do? I did that for quite a while, in fact. And then I decided to move on. I thought, okay, now I'm ready for larger spreads. And so instead of doing one oracle card, I thought, well, I see other people, particularly Colette Baron-Breed, using 3-card oracle spreads. And I thought, heck, maybe I can do that too. So that's what I did. I would start getting, instead of just one idea from my oracle deck, I'd get a sentence. I'd try to find a sentence from my oracle deck by pulling 3 cards. Yeah? So let me do just a quick shuffle here and see what we get from this deck this time. Okay, so do one more, we'll do 3 more of these. 1, 2, 3. One more overhand. Because instead of just picking one card now, I need 3 cards to be all nicely placed together to make sense. Now, I'm not going to be able to do the whole spread here on camera, I don't think, but let's see what happens. Okay, so now I didn't mention this, but I would love to have the camera really, really close to the cards, but we're doing combinations of cards, and I wanted enough space, but if I put the camera too high, we wouldn't see anything, I don't think. So we're here in the middle. Did I cut the cards? I think I cut the cards. Okay, so here we go. A 3-card spread. 1, a burst of magic. Again in the 7th energy center. 21, exposed and revealed. And 41, a higher view. So, exposed and revealed. Now let me move to the guidebook just briefly for this one. 21. 21, exposed and revealed. That is in the, which energy center? That is in the, let's see, that should be the first card. Oop, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong book. I was about to read a different oracle guide to you. Okay, so yeah, this is the last card of the third energy center. It's card 3, exposed and revealed. Just general message here: healing, shame, the imposter syndrome. Yeah. When you're experiencing shame, looking upon shame as an opportunity for growth, evolution, and healing and freedom. As we transmute that shame into the key to opening up the worth, the self-worth that lies buried beneath. Right? So the way to break open and reveal our self-worth is to crack open the feelings of shame and the imposter syndrome. Yeah, by recognizing the magic that exists all around us. Yeah, there's magic around us. We have potentials for epiphanies, for revelations, for knowing that everything has a purpose if we allow ourselves to see those things. And so the way that we can do that is, where's my pointer, is by taking a higher view, getting the world, which is perhaps right now feeling like it's pasted to the end of our nose, stepping back and looking at the world and our situation from a higher view, taking a step back and removing ourselves from our personal attachment to everything we're experiencing, and looking at it from a higher view, we'll be able to perhaps see the synchronicities, the magic, the information that is possible around us. So 41 is actually from the sixth eye, the energy center 6. 48 is from energy center 7. 21 is from energy center 3. So the solar plexus, now if you're thinking chakras as I do, solar plexus, yeah, third eye, crown. So I would do that, and then what would I do? Well, then I would pull cards, and I would, at this point of my return to tarot path, I would do a 6-card spread, and I would often use 2 different decks. Now I would do 3 cards from one deck and 3 cards from another tarot deck. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do one deck, and I'll pull maybe 3 cards, but I won't have them all on camera at the same time. At least not, maybe not. I don't think that's going to be possible. Let's see what happens. So the tarot is going to help us now figure out what to do with this information. Right? So, here we go. Let's see. My beautiful Albano-Waite deck. Woo! And I don't read jumpers, just so you know. I'm not a jumper reader. And so, 3 cards for maybe, let's do conscious and unconscious. 1, oh, maybe I could do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So I would not necessarily do this as conscious and unconscious. I might in the past have done 2 lines of cards on left and the right. You know, there are many, many possibilities, but it's very interesting here. What do we have? We've got 1 cup, 1 pentacle, no, 2 cups, I'm sorry, 2 cups, 1 pentacle, 1 swords. We're missing wands, which is interesting. So there's a little bit of a lack of energy, passion, sexuality here. You can see those cards. And actually, I could pull these a little bit farther out. Maybe we can see the oracle cards just a little bit from below. Okay, so let's see. Do this. And do this a little bit, at least so that we get a hint. We can at least see the titles, right? So, conscious area. There's an aspect of willpower that's here, right? Willpower, moving forward. And as this is related to exposed and revealed, maybe it's calling for us to, it asks for an act of will, right? To be able to do this, to be in this state of feeling shame, of the imposter syndrome, of being exposed and revealed. To be able to do the work of opening up to the magical possibilities that are around us by taking a higher view, that requires an act of will, right? So we're being called to choose, to act, to decide, to rise up and see things from a higher perspective. And as we see things from a higher perspective, we have the 5 of Cups here. We realize the disappointment, but we also realize that there are a couple of cups that are standing upright, reminding us of there is magic there for us to rediscover. If we'll just look up, we'll just raise ourselves up high enough to be able to see all 5 of the cups. Yeah, 3 are knocked over. There's disappointment. We feel unworthiness. We feel like we're not enough, perhaps. But if we deliberately rise up and look at the entire terrain, we'll see the things that are available to us, the magic that's available to us. And we can then start doing the work, right? Because moving past and out of the feelings of perhaps shame or, again, imposter is generally not a quick and easy path, right? It takes time. It takes perseverance. Just like this horse. Yeah, the charioteer has 2 sphinxes that are, frankly, not very active at the moment. This knight has 1 steed who is active, but not the fastest in the bunch, but probably the strongest in the bunch. So we do that work. So what's going on unconsciously? Unconsciously, there's a love relationship here in the center, right? And that love relationship can be with other, but it can also be self and self. It can be our human manifesting conscious human mind and the eternal nature. Yeah? There's a unity that is being called for. And maybe it's that split of unity that has caused our sense of being imposter, being a less than. So this is called for. And to be able to do that, here we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Here we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah? It might take a little bit of a leap into the unknown to be able to do this work. It might call for us to do what might be a little frightening, very uncomfortable, moving into an area that we are unfamiliar with energy, with power, with willpower. And in so doing, we can shine the light in the darkness, which will reveal, perhaps from within, perhaps from the environment, the wisdom and the potential and possibilities that are there. So this is another way that I have worked with oracles and tarot in the past. And I've done many different kinds of spreads using similar things. But then I moved on from this a little bit, not saying that I think that this is a less evolved or a less sophisticated way of reading. I think this is an excellent way of reading, frankly, and I like reading this way. But for the last year or so, I should say, I've been diving into specific systems of tarot. So I've been giving a little less focus to my oracle readings, not ignoring them, but giving them a little less focus and focusing more on things like the Tarot of the Holy Spirit. Or now I've begun my deep dive into the Harris Crowley deck, the Thoth Tarot. So, because tarot decks are more in focus, I'm using more tarot decks in a spread. And limiting the number of oracle decks that I use. However, let's see, what was the next thing I wanted to bring up? Tarot spread. So what I've sometimes done these days is I will pull a large spread of many, many tarot cards using 2, maybe 3 decks. And then I will pull 2 oracle cards at the end. You'll notice that until now we had the oracle cards out first and then the tarot to help us unpack the oracle cards. These days I've moved towards the more common way of using oracle with tarot, which is to use them at the end as a wrap up or pull at cards for advice, that kind of thing. So I'm not going to lay a full spread here because we don't have the room. Let me just check how much room I have. Do I have enough for... I have enough for a 4 card. Not exactly enough for a 5. Well, okay, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to pull like the center or the beginning of a Celtic cross. I won't do a full Celtic cross, but I'll do the significator above, below, past, future for a Celtic cross. And I'll put that over here, and then we'll pull a couple of advice cards. So, for us now, we're starting with a tarot deck, and let's see. Actually, I'm sorry, I think I want to switch over to the Tarot of the Holy Light for this. Oh, these cards are way too big though. Let's see. 1, 2... Well, let's try. Okay, so, Tarot of the Holy Light. If you know me, you know that I work with this deck with reversals. And I have always worked with this deck with reversals. Because that's the way the beautiful creator, Christine Payne Towler, designed this deck to be used as. That's how she designed this deck to be used. So, do 3 shuffles like this. It's a general reading for us. One more overhand. And then we'll cut the deck and we will shuffle. Whoa, see? This is why I don't read jumpers. Because I'm really not a good overhand shuffler. Even after years, I'm still hand clumsy. Here we go. So, start with the significator being an upright card. Thank you. We have the 5 of Swords, which is Aquarius ruled by Venus, which would be it's the 3rd decade of Aquarius. It's the Libra house of Aquarius. The Libra decade of the house of Aquarius. Which would give us an exaltation of Saturn, which is exalted in, I think, Libra, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I'm not going to go into zodiac much here because I don't have all of that memorized. But so we have an exaltation here, Saturn, which where is Saturn? Where is Saturn exalted? I'm going to just check that right now. I think I can find that in really, really short order. My drive. Astrology for Tarot, and my exaltations chart tells me that Saturn is, yes, I was right. Yes, Saturn is exalted in Libra, which is interesting because this is the Libra decade of Aquarius. So there's some conflict here. I mean, Saturn is a sharp, harsh kind of planet to be in the balancing decade of Libra in Aquarius. So there's some competition here. And so what's above is judgment. Again, Saturn. So we got Saturn a little bit on the mind, right? We've got those borders, the limitations. What is right? What is wrong? What is in? What is out? What should be done? What should not be done? Along with the rising up, the call of the old father, which is Saturn, right? And then what is below? What are we standing on? We're standing on the lovers, which is Taurus, on the home of Venus, and we had Venus right here, right? So we have the Saturn, exalted Saturn here, strengthened by the Judgment card, and below us we have Venus strengthened here through Taurus of the lovers, which is the union of aspects of self, either passionately in the private area of the body or publicly, and a little bit more calmly. So from below we've got the beauty and the enjoyment of being who we are as Venus in Taurus, in union, making unions at our own pace, making choices, but at our own pace. What is below? I'm sorry, what is behind? What is the past? Oh, wow, another upright, which is odd for this deck. This deck is being very nice to me. Yeah, we have Mars here in strength. Mars, a new planet for this spread. We're coming out of a very powerful time of Mars, which is in both Aries and in Scorpio. And you can see the fire of Aries flaming in her head, and you can see the water of Scorpio pouring forth from her breasts as she blows her power into the world. Now there's pure strength here. The strength of perhaps Sophia in the world. And you can see the fire in the background in the volcano as well. And in the future, we're moving towards the Eight of Cups, which is Mars again, but Mars in Scorpio. So we have, Mars in Pisces. So we have the Scorpio decadent of Pisces, which is the third decadent of Pisces. So we have another exaltation, which would be Jupiter in Cancer, because Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. So this is a kind of a healing card in the tarot of the Holy Light. Yeah, think of it as a spa day. Think of it as removing toxins. We're moving from this place of power through some competition, some fighting, some intellectual struggle and strife. Even though there is balance also here with Venus being in Aquarius, right? Venus, the Libra decadent of Aquarius, gives us a little bit more balance, a little bit more sociability that Aquarius often lacks. The more intimate sociability that Aquarius lacks, but there's some struggle here through Saturn also being here in the exaltation. But that struggle, what we've got in our minds is we want to rise, we want to enter into our fulfillment. And what we're standing on, the base we're standing on, is our relationship which emphasizes the Venusian energy of Taurus. And so we're moving into some potential of healing, clearing out the crap, which will give us some strength. And our sense of personal relationships with Jupiter in Cancer will ease our future path. That's what I'm seeing here. Which sounds really nice, sounds wonderful, but let's see what advice the Oracle deck is going to be able to give us for this. Now, our Oracle deck may help us unpack or give us some, like I said, advice. Plain and simple, some advice. As I'm shuffling, what else do I see? We see the sun here emphasized, right? It almost looks like this couple which is at our base. Yeah, the male sun and the female moon have joined together as a spiritual androgyne here in the background. To me, the head looks like this male figure, but the body kind of makes me think of the female figure a little bit more right now. So I'm seeing this figure here in the Eight of Cups as being the alchemical androgyne joining in a healing process, in an alchemical healing process by Mars in Pisces. With all that wonderful water. We only had one minor arcana card here, right? No, two. Air and water, which are not, what do we call that? Ill-dignified. Now, they work together fine. They don't support each other. They don't tear each other down. So that's fine. So what's the advice? Let's see. 1, healing the heart. Which 23 would probably be the fourth energy center or the heart chakra. Yeah, healing the heart, and birds of a feather, which is being in community. So yes, like I said, the advice is this: heal the heart. Allow space and time for the heart to heal from what we're going through now. But don't do it alone. Yeah? Find our peeps as support in this movement towards our healing. That would be the advice. Let me just double check birds of a feather. See if there's anything else in that card that could give us some help. Now, birds of a feather is card number 25, which is also in the heart chakra, the fourth energy center. Interesting, right? It's all about the heart. Birds of a feather, sharing community, a sense of belonging, fellowship with like-headed people, understanding the concept of we before me. So, however long you stay here in this journey of becoming who you're meant to be, connecting to community and participating in fellowship is the best thing for you right now. So, don't do the healing process alone. Allow our interactions with other people to help do this detox that we're all about right now. You will flourish as a part of a network of like-minded and like-hearted people. Stick to what feels good and resonates with your heart as true. So, if things start feeling off, then take a step back and move out and do a little bit of the work on your own and find the time and place when you are with people that feels right. And then bathe in that, right? So that's another way that I started working with oracle cards with my tarot. And it's really interesting. You'll see, look at this. Look at all, well, can you see? Okay, so, yeah, that's a reversed card, reversed card, reversed card, reverse, 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 upright, 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 reverse, reverse, upright, upright, reverse, reverse. There are a lot of reversed cards in this deck. And usually I get a lot of reversed cards when I use this deck. But the Tarot of the Holy Light was playing nice with me today so that I didn't have to fret too much with this video. Yeah? It very kindly offered up a 5-card spread all upright, which is pretty remarkable. Okay, so now what I'm doing also these days is I will sometimes add or ask my oracle deck to give me, instead of advice like this, I'll ask my oracle deck to give like a Cliff Notes version of the spread I'm doing. So, what do I mean? I don't do this on camera. I have done it on camera before, and I have done it on camera for other people, for like private readings. But I don't use this, or I haven't used this spread for quite a while. It's what I called my Tree of Life spread. It's based on the Kabbalistic Tree of Life. And I do an 11 card spread with it because I put a card down for the Sephiroth that is missing from when the tree fell, if that makes any sense to you. If it doesn't make sense, I've got a video explaining my Tree of Life spread, and I will put a link in the comments in this description box below. That's what I'll do. So what I have done now for myself especially, but also when I use this spread for other people, when I remember to do this, after I lay out the 11 cards, I mean, it's a huge, deeply meaningful spread. I'll pull 3 cards at the end to try and give me a more concise message for what this entire spread is really pointing towards, if that makes sense. Instead of advice, I'm asking for the Cliff Notes version of the spread. And I'm asking that for that information from an oracle deck. So this is the spread that I pulled for myself for this past week. I haven't pulled my spread for the next week yet. This is last week's spread. And actually tonight is when I will pull my cards for next week. So this is the last week. Let me show you the picture right now. Friends, I also decided I'll put a card up here for you to go and see, if you want, the walkthrough of the, what is it called? My Tree of Life spread. But you can see why I'm not going to lay that spread out here on this camera at this time. It's a very big vertical spread, and here we are in a horizontal world. So you saw the picture, but you also saw that it's really hard to see each individual card. However, I don't know if you know the deck. The deck that I used for that spread is called El Terro del Fuego by Ricardo Cavallo. And I'll have links to all of the decks that are available below. I will not have a link to the Albano-Waite because, well, that's, like I said, way out of print. But all of the other decks I'm using today are still available to my knowledge. So I'll have links to the Oracle decks, and the Tarot decks below. So yes, the Terro del Fuego, which is an interesting deck. It's a deck that I started using because of Christine Payne-Towler, the wonderful creator of the Tarot of the Holy Light. Yes, because of this beautiful creator, she told me that, oh yeah, I sometimes use some more Waite-Smith decks, and this is the one I use these days, and so I just had to go out and get it, and saw it, and started working with it, and I realized this is not a deck that I can pull out on a whim and read with. This is a deck that I will have to use for a while to really get a sense of how to work with it. So I've been using that deck for my Tree of Life spread for quite a while now. And I've been using this deck because I got it right around the same time to give me the concise message. So these were the 3 cards that gave me the message for this week's Tree of Life spread. And I don't know if you saw, in Keter for this Tree of Life, we had the 10 of Cups. So the information that is, and the attributes that are were moving into my life. This is a week ago. This was a week ahead Tree of Life spread. Were moving into my life was the 10 of Cups, which is family. It's sharing emotions. It's also being full enough with emotion to be able to support those around us. That's what's moving in. And you also saw right below that was the Ace of Pentacles, which is an opportunity, right? That will bring in the knowledge. That's the dot Sephiroth, which is the Sephiroth that really does not exist, but does stand for knowledge. And that moved into the 7 of Swords, which is this lion facing 7 swords. And there's a lot of aggression in that card. So instead of just going your own way, there's some antagonism, there's some fighting, there's struggle, there's intellectual struggle there. And that moved right into the 9 of Swords below, which is, again, the Nightmare card. There was a prickly porcupine at the bottom of that card, which also makes me think of a lot of defensiveness. Yeah, a lot of times the nightmares and the anxieties that we feel cause us to react and sometimes even overreact with a lot of defensiveness. And that manifested into the Eight of Cups, which is moving on, right? Leaving things behind. It's the emotional journey of leaving behind those things which have deeply disappointed us. But in this card, we also saw the breaking down of a temple, the tearing apart of stuff. And there were also the Three of Swords there in the father pillar of, learning from heartbreak. There was temperance. This is a really deep spread. So I wanted a concise message. And what did I get? I got these 3 oracle cards. So the concise message was that the weavers watched the dragon fly. Now, the first card started us off with observation. Yeah? Observation of what? Observation of everything that's happening around us. Maintaining the position of curiosity. What's happening here? Trying to look at that big picture. And not taking anything personally. Which actually I didn't do such a good job of, frankly, this week. But that was the beginning of this week's message, or the Cliff Notes version of this week's spread. To be curious, keep looking. Don't take it personally. And doing that, we move into what the sunbeams have to show, card 18, which I love the artwork in this deck. This deck was drawn by a Japanese-American man for Colette Baron-Reid, and it's a very different style compared with her other decks, and I love this deck a lot. And so what the sunbeams have to show us are that in order for us to progress, the information, the knowledge, the details are available, but not in sharp detail, but rather gentle illumination. Truths are revealed when we are ready. So curiosity is again emphasized here. A flicker of an important idea. Keep curious. Allow the ideas to reveal themselves when it's time, and not expect them to be a bolt of lightning or a bright flash of a bulb, but rather a flicker. And what the sunbeams have to show, let those sparkles on the rippling lake water dance before our eyes, so that and remain curious, so that we can see the message that is being revealed to us, if that makes sense. And that moves right into only the weavers know the time. Our expectations of when demanding answers, demanding information, it should be like this, is not going to help us now. We want to be open to the experience and allow the information indicated here, and from this stance of curiosity, allowing the information to reveal itself gently, and allowing the time that is necessary for us to be ready for it, and for it to reveal itself to us. Just like an anglerfish doesn't see in the distance the thing it wants to eat and then darts out to get it. Rather, the anglerfish here has this little light and lets the light glow and allows the thing it wants to eat come to it, and then it will get the food it wants, right? In just such a way, we are looking around in curiosity and allowing things to appear and reveal themselves to us when the time is right. So what does that reveal to me about the larger spread? Well, that we had that opportunity in the knowledge that though I don't know the powerful emotion that is available to me and that I will be able to use to uplift those around me, I don't know that yet, but I do feel the heartbreak, and I'm able to learn from the heartbreak, which is a little bit more visible to me, more apparent to me. And that moved into temperance, which I hadn't talked about yet. That moved into temperance, which is the healing, right? Those are the first three cards at the top. And the process which will reveal an opportunity, and that is basically one way of understanding this card. So that's this, being open to those possibilities. Knowing that it's not going to be an easy process. It's not going to be sitting back in the hammock and on a sunny day watching the butterflies flit by kind of curiosity. This is the curiosity of moving through heartbreak and healing. And being open to those glints of information and knowledge, though it may feel like we are, and not taking things personally, because if we do take things personally, then those two Seven of Swords and the Nine of Swords cards of conflict and anxiety will take over. And and so this card might be that Eight of Cups card of, okay, so I'll move on. And as I move on, I'll move on with curiosity and keep my eyes open for the little sparkles of light that will inform me when the time is right. Right? So, this is another way that I can use my oracle cards to not only give advice, but to draw out the essential message or information from a large spread. So, now the last thing I'm going to touch on now is the new thing that I started doing with my Tarot de Marseille series, which I call Les Pendus dans le Cercle de Lune. Yeah, the Hanged Man in the Moon in French. And in that series, I use my Tarot de Marseille cards to draw a concise message from my large weekly spread. And I've added an oracle card to the end of that spread these days. And so I'll show you what I'm doing. In order to show you what I'm doing, I'm using this mass market deck, which I have trimmed down myself. This is the Tarot of the Master. It's available on Amazon. You can tell that in order to trim this card, I had to trim the borders off of the front of the card. The backs came out a little bit catawonkus. Yeah, the backs are different. And these are all upright. I think they're all upright. Nope, this one was upside down. Okay, so, yes. The backs are a little bit catawonkus. Oh, maybe I've got reversal shuffled into here. Okay, so, but to me, I can deal with this because originally these cards, which I cropped down to the last inch of their lives, had a huge green, really strange, it was a really strange color choice to my mind, a big green border around them. And it just did not, I don't think it suits this deck at all. So, what is this deck? This is a redrawing or a redoing, a mass market redoing of the tarot called Ignabi di Giovanni Vacchetta. And there's, let's see, there are a couple of people who produce more indie versions of this deck. For one, Il Meneghetto has a redoing of this deck, which I have, and I love that deck. But I also wanted to get something with mass market cardstock that I could use, carry around, not worry about it getting damaged. So I got this deck and I chopped off, like I said, I chopped off the borders and I edged mine in this color because it kind of felt like it matched the tone of the deck, the colors of the deck. Now, if the borders to this deck had been more this color, I would have been maybe okay with them, but they were this really strong, odd green color. Anyways, so let me show you what I do these days for my, now I'm suddenly wondering, do I want to continue shuffling reversals for this deck yeah, I will. Okay, so I don't generally do reversals with my Tarot de Marseille readings on YouTube. I do them privately and for private readings. But for that series, I want the reading to be clear, concise, not have to talk too much about why this is reversed and what reversals mean, that kind of stuff. Okay, so maybe I could do reversals, but I don't use reversals with all of my Tarot de Marseille decks. Why? Because some Tarot de Marseille decks are really easy to tell whether it's upright and reverse. For things like, for example, the Six of Wands. For many, many decks, it's really, for me, almost impossible to tell which card is upright and which card is reversed for Six of Wands because there aren't any indications. Some decks, it's really easy to tell. Some decks, like the JJ Swiss, there are little numbers in the corner. Or the Spanish Tarot, there are little numbers in the corner of the bottom of the card, or is it the top? Anyways, there are numbers on one side of the card, so when it's upside down, it's really easy to tell. This deck is also very easy to tell when it's reversed, so I use reversals with this deck because it's easy. Let's see. So this is the last shuffle, and when I do my TDM readings, I don't do jumpers. I usually always start off with 3 cards. Oh, look at that. We start off with the King of Coins. And then we've got the Four of Cups. No, I'm sorry. That is the Nine of Cups reversed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes, Nine of Cups reversed. And then we have got the Ace of Wands. Very nice. Now, I do these 3 cards. And then if there are people on the cards, I look at what they're doing. And I can see that the King of Coins here is looking off of the spread here. So, in this case, often I will pull an extra card. And here we have the Queen of Wands, reversed. Now, the Queen of Wands, I could say, is looking off this way, and maybe I might want to pull another card to see what she's looking at, but also, actually, she's looking down. Yeah? So, I think I'll stop there. I will stop there for many reasons. Now, when I get these cards like this, what do I do? When I read reversals for Tarot de Marseille, the court cards, I have a special thing that I do in my head. The upright cards are other people, and the reversed cards are me. Or, I mean, sometimes if I think I may have at times also reversed that the upright cards are me and the reversed cards are other people. But the upright cards are other people and the reversed cards are me. So, there is someone around me who is financially well off, able to work well with what he, she, or they have, are able to create new things, but they don't take risks, right? They create new. They're willing to try new things, but in a very cautious, not retrospective, but what do we call it when in a reflective manner. And there is someone like that who has his, her, or their eye on me, who is at this time in my Queen of Wandsness, yeah, my fierce, independent creativity and sexuality, able to perhaps inspire those around me, but I'm not quite a leader. I'm more of a person who inspires by example, perhaps. And this particular Queen of Wands also has a really good relationship with animals, it seems. So, and that sounds like me. Actually, for these last few days, I've been interacting very frequently with like stray cats and insects and stuff like that. So that does seem kind of like me these days. My Queen of Wandsness is drawing the attention of somebody who is financially secure, able to create, able to work with other people as well. And what does this person have at their back? Well, they've got some emotional baggage at their back, right? They've got some, there was a, and we're reading this direction because that's the way this person is facing. There was opportunity. There was some, and maybe there still is opportunity, but there was opportunity, the beginning of something, a new passion, an interest, something that, a new creative project. The fire is reigniting. But there is emotional, and fire and water are ill-dignified, right? This is being cut off by emotional pain, breakup, maybe a breakup. Now, this emotional dissatisfaction and discomfort and anguish of some kind of emotional ending is cutting the king off from their passion, from that spark of inspiration, although they are looking at me in my Queen of Wandsness. So now what I would do is, okay, so what does that mean? Yeah, tell me all about it, Alfie. And to do that, I have been working with a very interesting deck, which is called the Zammer Twins Oracle by Patrick Valenza. Here's what the backs of the deck look like. And I have my guidebook here on the side all ready for us because this is a deck that I have not worked with enough. So I will shuffle and I'll pull one card to give us, now this one card can be several things, depending on what it is. It could be advice. It could also be a summation, a condensation of what these 4 cards were telling us. So I'm just going to pull one card. I only do upright with this deck so far. It's got plenty of cards. There are, how many? I think there are like 50 something cards here. So for an Oracle deck, 50 cards, they're plenty to me. So I don't see the necessity to do reversals yet for this deck, especially because I'm using it again as like that last statement, the summation or the advice. Oh, so what is this telling me? Okay, so we get the acrobat. Okay, I've never read this card before. Let me pull that one up, the acrobat. So the acrobat is, let me read you the description of the card. A limber young acrobat performs on a sideshow stage, demonstrating tremendous poise and dexterity. By using a combination of natural talent and rigorous discipline, he is able to execute stunts which leave onlookers in awe. Upright meaning flexibility, the ability to maneuver through complex situations, confidence in one's skill set, or a show-off. Yes, even upright, the possible meaning is a show-off. But flexibility. Yeah? The advice here in this marriage, the meeting of these two people, me and this person, the coin, which could be in a male body, a female body, a trans body, a cis body, a non-binary body, an intersex body. We don't know the gender or anything about what the physical form of the king of coins is. However, whoever this king of coins is, who is looking at me in this meeting, flexibility is asked for. So I see that this card is not really a summation, but rather advice. That flexibility is called for. The ability to move through complex situations and go beyond our past abilities. Now, do you see why I like using this card, especially with my antique Italian decks? This deck and the older, especially Italian decks, look really, really good together. It also looks pretty good with it looks nicely, it looks well with more TDM style decks, more the French decks. Let me try and find one of my mass market. Okay, here's my Marseille vintage, which is from Lo Scarabeo, and it's easily available, and it's a redrawing of the Conver deck. But okay, so here we go. Although this is not really a reading, just looking at how the deck looks good with a TDM deck as well, right? So friends, anyways, the point is that is how I work with Oracle cards and have worked with Oracle cards in the past. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. How do you work with Oracle decks? Do you work with them only as like a final one card draw? Do you work with them as advice? Do you work with them to find out concise messages? Do you work with them as the center of a spread and then add tarot around the side? How do you use Oracle decks? Let me know. I'd like to thank you in advance for hitting the thumbs up button for this video so that YouTube knows that you liked it and other people will like it as well. It helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And also comment below. I would love to hear what you think. So friends, yeah, there we are. And I will leave it at that. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.